Okay. Okay, and we're live. So we're live for Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen, a fight I've really been looking forward to. And I was lucky enough to be there in Riyadh when they fought the first time. I was there with the pain game. What a fight it was! It really lived up to expectations because a lot of people don't really. Well, people say that Dave Allen is a bit lazy, which it's well documented. He hasn't always put it in the past. But this time he turned up and delivered. You know, he made it a great fight because he really put it on the prospect, Johnny Fisher. He made him work and he hurt him. I can't remember what round it was. Was it round? It was in the mid rounds. And fair play to Johnny Fisher because I don't know how he recovered. He was out on his feet multiple times. But he showed one thing, he's got heart. But it was a great fight. So I've really been looking forward to this rematch. Just let me know in the comment section if the audio and everything's good, because a second ago I did start the stream and it wasn't working. So please let me know. Yeah, people saying Dave was robbed last time. You know, I've rewatched the fight because on the night I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought Dave won. And when I rewatched it, I thought, you know, sometimes when you watch it live and then you rewatch it, you see a slightly different fight because at the time you're caught up in the motions and enjoying the fight and it's quite hard to score. And you sometimes miss small details, you know, the shots on the inside that aren't clear. But when I watched it again, I thought exactly the same. I thought Dave won. You could say the start of the fight that Johnny Fisher started well until the fourth round. And then it was where Dave started to take over, you know, his experience. And it was when he come out the clinch and Dave had said to him, break. And for some reason, Johnny listened to him and he kind of paused and bang, left hook from Dave. You know, then I finished it off with the right hand, dropped him. Fair play to Johnny, he got back up, but that was the inexperience from Johnny because, you know, I always say it, you can have the skill, the talent, but the experience you can't buy. And say what you want about Dave Allen, he's got experience. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's a fight I've been really excited for. In fair play to Johnny for taking the rematch because he could have quite easily went down a different route because we've seen it in, you know, history before where fighters, prospects, they come unstuck on the way up and they think, right, okay, we'll just wait. We'll take that fight later, gain a bit more experience. And to be fair, I don't think anyone would have said anything if Johnny had went a different route. Well, I say that. The fans were absolutely screaming out for it because everyone really thought that Dave won and it felt like he was hard done by. But generally speaking, I've seen it time and time again where fighters have went down a different route. But I think the era we're in now with boxing, because of social media, I think the fans have a lot more control in fighters, you know, direction and what fights they have. And I kind of agree on it to an extent because it's the fan that pay the wages. So you've got to listen to the fans and what they want. So yeah. How do people say it? Let me know in the comment section. How do people think the fight's going to go? Do you think it's going to be a repeat? Do you think it's going to be a close fight? Do you think this time Dave will be more prepared, more confident and, you know, get the win? Or do you think Johnny Fisher, do you think he's going to take that experience from the first fight and do you think he's been able to make those adjustments? Let me know. Devon just saying, have I seen up and coming prospect Mike Oxmel's Grim? No, I haven't. Where's he from? Let me know where he's from. Hello, Guy, joining me again. Yeah, last night, Guy joined me on the stream. I done a Misfit stream last night. I don't know who I think I am, 2 nights in a row. But yeah, I've done Misfits boxing, which I can't lie, I found it really entertaining. I know the boxing purists that might be watching now might be thinking, Misfits boxing, you know, it's just reality stars and influencers. But actually, it was quite entertaining. You have, because what Misfits are doing, which I think is great, they're combining professional boxing with the influence in boxing. So I think it's a really good blend because the casual fans, some like, especially the younger generation, they're probably fans of some of these influencers. So, you know, it's catering for everybody. So I think it's great. Repeat. My sister saying Alan for the win. Hannah Swicky there. Always supporting me. My biggest supporter right there. AJ Dave Allen by devastating knockout. I do think the experience will play its part, because when you've been stopped like that, and well, sorry, I'm saying stopped in my mind, because when you've took a beating, sometimes that trauma, do you know, the second time round when you get in the ring, if you get clipped again, it might just all come back again, and he might just freeze. It'll be really interesting to see how Johnny Fisher reacts when he gets clipped again. So yeah, I think Dave, no doubt, will be the more confident man, but maybe there's a chance that he might be overconfident because of the success he got the first time round. And if Johnny Fisher has went away, put in that work, and made the necessary adjustments, because early in the fight, he did show how to beat Dave Allen. He kept it long, everything behind a jab, and didn't really let Dave Allen engage. But unfortunately, Dave Allen's experienced, and he wasn't going to let him do that all night. And with that pressure, I would say Johnny Fisher, I don't want to say he broke, but he did start a tire and he couldn't keep him off. And Dave Allen turned into a dogfight. So, Russell, Dave on points should be a good bout. Absolutely. I think it's a sort of fight, it can't be anything but an entertaining fight. Oh, I'm just watching this here. Sutton's down. Left hook there, I think that was. Let's see how he recovers. Yeah, it's going to be one of those fights where you've got two guys, you know, the Rhino, he's all action. Well, when I say he's all action, when he's fit, he's all action. He puts the pressure on, and he's got that slick style where he can slip, he can slide, you know, he shoulder rolls. He's like what do you want to call it? A working man's James Toney. If anyone knows James Toney, he's the ultimate shoulder roller, slips and slides. So yeah, he can do that when he's at his best, but it's just, how's he going to turn up? Will he be too confident? Will he maybe think that he can do exactly the same? And Johnny might come in a new man, you know, new and improved. He's young. He's got that capability of making them improvements. And it's a funny one, because I always say you can't buy experience, but you can't also buy that youthfulness. So, you know, let's see how it goes. Stephen Paul Hughes, Dave's fitter, he says, but we'll all say that in a rematch. We're new and improved, better than ever, but he's the heaviest he's been. Well, that is interesting, because when I seen him on the scales, I was quite surprised, because I thought he would come in lighter. And then I seen that he was heavier, but facially he did look a lot slimmer. I could see his cheekbones. It's a difficult one, because as a heavyweight, you can be training super hard, you can be fitter, but if your diet's not on point, you might be a little bit heavier. So it's not to say just because he's heavier on the scales that he's not fitter. Yeah, it's you know, the obvious is he's heavier. It depends how you box as well, because Dave Allen isn't a Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He's got quite flat feet, but like I say, he slips, bobs and weaves and comes forward, applying the pressure. So does he need to be so much lighter? As long as he's fitter and he can impose that extra size, it'll be a problem, because he done that in the first fight against Johnny. He put the pressure on, he was leaning on him, pulling him, you know, roughhouse tactics, using the dark arts, and it worked. It tired Johnny out, and then he was able to get success on the inside with little short uppercuts, body shots, overhand rights. So yeah, I think the weight won't play a factor in terms of his mobility, because like I say, he's not the lightest on his feet. But yeah, let's see if he's going to be fitter or not. Devin, who's the hardest puncher you've faced sparring or fighting? Taking headgear and big gloves into account. That's a good question. I boxed all over the world as an amateur, and I've mixed with professionals, amateurs, you know, even professionals as an amateur. I would say when I was boxing in the amateurs, when I was coming through, I fought Rocky Fielding twice and beat him. He was probably the biggest puncher then, because he was one of those guys, he didn't need to load up on his shot, and every shot was solid. He had a really good left hook and a left uppercut. Who else have I fought? I mean, I used to spar with Carl Froch when I was on GB. He was another guy. I wouldn't say it was a one-punch knockout, but every punch you could feel, his jabs, his body shots, everything. Who else can I think? I mean, I've sparred with cruiserweights, heavyweights. I've boxed some of the best guys in the world, and, you know, I'm quite good defensively, so you've got to work really hard to hit me clean, so there's not many guys that have, you know, really landed really clean. But I'm going to have to say the likes of Carl Froch and Rocky Fielding are probably some of the hardest punchers. And when I say that, it's because you get guys, like you say, like a Mike Tyson back in the day, he would really rotate with good technique and, you know, spring off his feet. Whereas I always class the big punchers are the ones that can throw a punch 6 inches and do damage. It's like if you think of someone like Triple G, he was another guy who didn't need to load up on his shots. And anyone that sparred him, fought him, well, you've seen what he done in the ring. You know, little shots, boom, and people just dropped. So yeah, them are the ones who I consider the real punchers. Okay, let's have a look. If Dave gets through the first 3 rounds, I think he wins. Yeah, well, I think Dave classically isn't a fast starter. I think my seat's dropping. Dave's not classically a fast starter. So, you know, I think he'll have a look still early. But I do think he'll start a little bit faster, apply the pressure, because I think he'll be confident knowing that he's hurt him before and he can do it again. So it'll be interesting to see if he does start faster. Guys saying Dave being that heavier and looking really confident, which I hope isn't a mistake, as Dave has the tools to win. But over 12 rounds, I think it's difficult, like I say, because everything at this point is hindsight. And the writing on the wall in terms of being heavier makes you think automatically that he's not going to be as fit. But I do know he trains with Jamie Moore, who was a great fighter, by the way, himself. And he actually was trained by one of my first professional trainers, Oliver Harrison, a great trainer. Unfortunately, he passed away. And he was Jamie Moore's trainer. So actually, I've met Jamie Moore when I was down there training in Manchester, and he's a really great trainer. And I always remember Oliver Harrison saying he was really intelligent, like a really intelligent fighter. And naturally, you'll pass on that wisdom as a coach. And I just don't think he would put up with any of his fighters not putting in the work. So I do expect him to be fitter, faster, stronger all round. Uncle Lenzo ASC. I need to make this right. I'm reading the comments, but the writing's a bit too small. 1 second. Let me just make this bigger. One moment. Okay. That's better. I can see clearly now. Littles Cry, PTY Monster, great YouTube channel, man. Like your videos, appreciate it, mate. Appreciate the support. Let me just take a look at this fight, because I've been answering the questions here. I need to give you my insight on this fight, how I see it. 4 rounds in. We've got, I think Linard's he's meant to be the prospect coming through here. I know he's been highly spoken about. So I think this is a step up, but he's expected to win. He seems to be getting the better of. He's already dropped his man Sutton. I think it was the 2nd round. He looks very relaxed. I like his head movement. That's what you want to be doing when you're boxing. You need to keep moving. Don't make yourself a static target. You know, if you're boxing and keeping your head in the center line constantly, the opponent can shut their eyes and, you know, throw a shot and know where their head's going to be. So I like what Linyard's doing here. Linyard's doing lots of head movement, feinting, bobbling, weaving, nice movement. And you can see he's very relaxed. He's not wasting any energy, which is great. Yeah, lovely head movement there. Bobbing and weaving, hands are almost down his waist, he's smiling, bobbing and weaving. And that's the thing with boxing. If you're relaxed, you can see everything coming. When you're tensed, you know, you don't see the punches because your body can't be as reactive. Want Dave to win, but to be fair, think his feet are going to be too slow. We'll see. It'll be interesting. Big D banger. He's there, lad. Just remembered you were doing a live stream. Yes, big man. Big D. How many fights until the main fight? I think there's just... Where we're up to? Is there this one? I think it might be... Let me just check. Yeah, the main event's next. Yes, Eon saying the weight's a red flag. Has Alan ever weighed this heavy? I think he would have, you know. I've seen him in well out of shape in some of his fights, so I'm not sure to be definite, but I don't think this is the heaviest he's been. Could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section if anyone has got that to hand, them details. Guys saying Carl Froch's jab followed by a flurry of punches would be top, I reckon. Carl Froch, yeah. He had this ability to kind of almost walk forward throwing punches, reminiscent of what the MMA guys do when they would cross the feet. But his shots were that heavy, he could get away with it, and he had great timing. What he lacked in speed, he made up for in great timing. And like I say, I think Carl Froch, I think his record in the ring speaks for itself. He's a Hall of Famer, and he's not shy of telling everybody. I love Carl Froch, by the way. He's got a real great humour. But yeah, I think with him, from the outside looking in, because I remember the first time I sparred, before I sparred him in GB, I watched him and thought, I knew how good he was in the ring when I'd watched him, but when I seen him warming up, I thought, he doesn't look that good. And then I got in there with him, and I've got quite quick hands, and I was really surprised, but timing beats speed, and at the time he was way more experienced than I was. It was a real learning curve. Jack, do you consider Ty Mitchell versus Ben Whittaker a real fight? I'm not too sure if Ty Mitchell can get a British Boxing Board of Control license. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure on that, to be honest. I would have to... I know he's fighting out of Misfits, but I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the British Boxing Board of Control license. I don't know if that's been talked about. I'm not too sure, but Ty Mitchell, actually, I was really impressed. Last night, he's boxing very relaxed. He's a southpaw, great feet, and he hardly got touched. But would that translate to the level of Ben Whittaker? I don't know. Probably not, because Ben Whittaker's been fighting at the highest level as an amateur. You know, we've seen what he done to Liam Cameron last time out. I had to eat my hat because I thought Liam Cameron would win again second time round, but he proved the doubters wrong. Maybe Liam Cameron underestimated him. This fight's really warming up, by the way. The two of them are standing toe to toe. I think Leonard's got real confidence, and I don't think he feels that his man Sutton can hurt him. So he's kind of walking him down, fighting in the pocket, very relaxed, low guard, but bobbing and weaving, slipping and sliding. Great to watch. Kevin, would love to see you make some tutorials, videos, unboxing, basics, and giving tips. Absolutely. Anyone that was on my stream last night, I did say, let me know in the comment section if anyone would be interested in that type of content. Because I'm still working my way on YouTube, you know, seeing what people like, what content they're enjoying. I'm actually a boxing coach, if anyone, you know, doesn't know. I'm actually got a degree in sports coaching. I studied when I was doing my, while I was on GB, I was still studying, doing my degree, which I completed. I'm also a qualified personal trainer. I'm a qualified amateur coach. So yeah, I do coaching. So it's something that I might start doing. I've actually been, you know, overhand right there from Leonard. Yeah, he's been dominating this fight from what I've seen. You can see Sutton's on the floor shaking his head. Yeah, the towel's been thrown in. I think his coach knows. You know, your coach spends all that time with you. They know you. They know the look in your eyes if you're looking like you don't want to be there. And yeah. Great display. Really impressed there from Leonard. Really impressed. Good performance. Yeah, so the boxing tutorial videos, stay tuned. If, by the way, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel. I put a lot of work into growing this channel, so come on, get behind us. Let me just. Okay. Let me just check over here, making sure everything's running smoothly. Let's see. Devin, if you could take any attributes from any fighter, what would it be, and from who would it be? Okay, good, very good question. For jab, I would take Larry Holmes' jab, someone that I've studied and watched, and I'm known for having a great jab. So, yeah, little pat on the back there. I've got a decent jab. I pretty much won an ABA title back in 2010. I got to the finals in 2009. With only 2 years of boxing, just off having a good jab. A jab, it's the basics of boxing, but you can win a fight just off a jab. So I'd take Larry Holmes' jab. I would take Triple G's power. I would take Floyd Mayweather's defense and movement. Who else? Pernell Whitaker, again. I'd maybe combine some of his movement and their defense as well. He was an absolute defensive genius. Let's think. So we've got movement. Let's go boxing IQ. Floyd Mayweather. Pernell Whitaker's defense. Larry Holmes' jab. I'm going to go for Lennox Lewis's right hand in power. Straight right hand. But I'm going to go for Triple G's general power. It's a difficult one. I'm thinking about 100 people in my head because I love boxing. I've studied so many people. So it's really difficult to just throw it out there because I can probably think of 5 people for just defense, 5 people for power, But just off head, yeah, I'd go with them guys. I think some of my boxing heroes are the likes of, you've got to say people like Muhammad Ali for what he done in boxing, but I would definitely say Lennox Lewis is one of my favourite guys. Larry Holmes, Pernell Whitaker, I loved him. I love Roy Jones back in the day as well. Floyd Mayweather, of course. I love Roberto Duran, great guy. Someone I got to meet when I was in Saudi with the Pain Game. I met him at the Ring Magazine event. Yeah, I could talk boxing all day. When it comes to, different fighters and what I love about them, I could literally talk all day. How long till the main event? It shouldn't be long. Taylor Denny, any plans for the rest of 2025 for the rest of your career in boxing? I've been a bit unfortunate with my professional career with opportunities of recent years. I was lucky early on in my career to get some good opportunities, but life wasn't perfect at the time, and I didn't take advantage of the opportunities, and that's nobody's fault other than my own because everybody's got a sob story, but I didn't take full advantage of the opportunities at the time because you've got to make it work, you've got to find a way, and unfortunately since then, I haven't really been given the opportunities, so it's been difficult. But if an opportunity presents itself, I'll be on it. With a bit of notice because it's been difficult because, I've got a family, I've got to provide for my family. I can't be in the gym full time when I'm not getting paid, so it's difficult. If you haven't got all the sponsors behind you, boxing's difficult. For anybody watching who thinks that, if you're a professional fighter, you make loads of money, that's not the case. It's very difficult. If you haven't got a good fan base, and you can really sell a lot of tickets, and you haven't got the sponsorship, it's extremely difficult. Yeah, boxing's very hard. You've got to realistically, like I say, have a massive following so you can sell tickets. Or it's great if you've been, on the GB set up, won a medal at the Olympics or something, and you've got that pedigree. It definitely helps. And you've got to capitalise on it at the time. Uncle Lenzo's just saying heaviest is 270. Okay, that's interesting. Game, is Darren Till any good? Ain't he fighting Froch? There's been talks of him fighting Froch, but to be honest, I don't think Carl Froch will come out of retirement. His career has been far too good to waste it at this stage in his life when he doesn't need it financially. He's got a great YouTube channel. I know he's got a lot of successful businesses outside of boxing. He doesn't need to do it. So I'd be very surprised if that fight came off. Very surprised. But I do think Darren Till's a good fighter. I've been impressed with him. But I also know that he's always trained out of the Rotunda gym in Liverpool. And that gym's, it's a famous gym in the UK if anyone's watching outside of the UK, in Liverpool. They've produced many champions. The likes of, funny enough, who's on the screen right now, Tony Bellew. He fought out of the Rotunda gym as an amateur. The Smith brothers, Callum Smith, Liam Smith, Paul Smith, to name a few. So he's got good boxing skills. I was impressed. Very good balance, judgment of distance. He had excellent punch selection last night because I did do a live stream and I watched it. It was good. Devin, do you know Tony Jeffries in real life? Yes, I do. Tony Jeffries is from Sunderland. I'm from Newcastle, so not too far from me. And I used to spar with him. So when he turned professional and I was still amateur, I wasn't on GB at this point. I used to go sparring with him, and he was way ahead of me, but he kept getting me back sparring because I was holding my own, giving a really good account of myself. So, when somebody at that level who's been a top amateur with GB, bronze medalist and a professional, if they ask you back for sparring, you're doing something right. So, yeah, I haven't seen him for many years. This was like 10 plus years ago. Very successful in the YouTube space. Someone who I've actually, seen what he was doing and thought, I could get involved with that. So, yeah, he's a good guy, Tony Jeffries. And also his dad was a big promoter in the Northeast, so I've been in contact with his dad over the years more than Tony Jeffries. Someone, have you already covered this? But can you? Sorry if you've already covered this, but can you let us know about your pro career? I was just saying there a second ago. Early on in my career, I got some good opportunities. Fought on Matchroom a few times. Boxed Dan Aziz, got beat by him a few years back. I just wasn't on form. I wasn't getting the necessary sparring. There's not a great deal of great sparring here in the Northeast. And at the time, I didn't have the ability to go spar and get on the road. I was juggling too many things. No excuses. I didn't get the job done. Great fighter, but I feel Dan Aziz. But I felt at my best I can beat him. Just didn't perform. And then since then, I've struggled getting opportunities. Yeah, Russell saying Lennox Lewis had a great jab. Unbelievable. A real ramrod jab. The type of jab that can knock you out. I think I've seen him drop people with a jab. Till said after he's gone through Froch, he's going through Usyk. Come on. I mean, yeah, okay. Talk the talk. Get people talking. But, yeah, that's a step too far. Stephen Hudson, fancy Big Dave for an upset tonight, he thinks. Omar S. Prince Nazim and Roy Jones were the guys that got me interested. Absolutely. There's nobody that done it like Prince Nazim or Roy Jones. It can't be repeated. I've not seen anybody since who can fight like them two. Prince Nazim had a lot of hand injuries, and I think there was a stage in his career. I think he wasn't training. His fights were made that easy. The way he beat people up, he had real power. I think he started to not put the work in the gym, which he found out when he fought Barrera, and he got beat. It's the way it goes. You can never think you're too good. You're always going to come across someone who's better. If you look at Roy Jones, he always trained like a demon. That's why he was so successful. Unfortunately for Roy Jones, he boxed on far too long, and then eventually everybody gets beat. Because nobody beats Father Time. Owen Foster, underrated guy I like was the old school heavyweight champion, Rocky Marciano. Absolutely crude, but the example of how extreme and hard work pays off. Hard as nails and underrated skills. Definitely, totally agree. As the saying goes, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. It's as simple as that. And it helps if you've got, a good chin in power in boxing. And that's what Rocky Marciano had. A great work ethic. Owen Foreman was an example of a guy who had good timing, even though big and slow when he was old. Absolutely. I think that's a really good example of we all know he had the power. He could punch like a bull. But in his second part of his career, when he was older, I would actually say he was more skillful. I think it's because what he lacked in youthfulness, speed, he made up for with using his brain. And very underrated. He had that Archie Moore, cross guard, very good, better head movement, used his jab really well, very underrated. Very good technician. It always reminds me when he done the drive-by left uppercut. Who was he fought again? Can't think of his name. But yeah, he walks forward, crosses his legs, throws this uppercut and just walks off. Gangster as it comes. Unbelievable. Can't think of his name now. It's going to annoy me. Wait there, let me see if I can find it. George Foreman. Who was it? I can't think of his name now. Oh, I can't find it. Anyway, George Foreman, animal. Monster. Unfortunately passed away not too long ago. Absolutely so sad when legends unfortunately pass away, because there'll never be another George Foreman. That era of George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali. They come around once every million years. Let me just check the stream's going smoothly. Just got to make sure the connection, everything's fine. Yeah, I think it looks like everything's working okay. Jason saying early KO or points. Are you saying for who? For Dave or for Johnny? Someone's asking, are we going to see the crew back with True Geordie fight coverage? I didn't like the New York coverage, to be honest. I much prefer all of you together. Of course. You can't beat the originals, you know what I mean? I hope so. We'll see what opportunities present itself, but we were covering Riyadh season boxing for Turkey Al Sheikh. In True Geordie was doing it with Wade, who's running the social media for the Ringside Magazine events. So they'd asked True Geordie to join him. If I had got that opportunity, I would have been there in a heartbeat. So, but yeah, hopefully there'll be more coming soon. We'll see. I've got the fingers crossed because I love it with the team. True Geordie's gotten us some great opportunities. Forever grateful, and I love all the boys. We'll get to hang out, talk boxing, watching fights live. What's not to love? Unless it was a big door. Froch ain't coming back. Yeah, the money would have to be crazy for Carl Froch to come back. Up the Trin, Big Dave Allen will knock out Johnny Fisher to get revenge for getting robbed in the first fight, just in my opinion. Yeah, I don't disagree. I've watched the fight again, and I think it's really difficult when you say robbery, because fights can be close. Each round can be scored close. But for me, if the cleaner punch has been landed, 1-to-1 guy, even if it's close, and he's winning more rounds in the fight, that should be the guy who wins. So if he doesn't get the decision, and in my opinion, that's how I seen it for Dave Allen. It was close, but the wrong man got the decision. Simple as that. I hope I've explained that clearly, if you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, the fight was close, but the wrong man won, putting it simply. Let's see what topics, because there's a few topics I was wanting to cover. I'm trying to answer people's questions here. There's Quinn Butters, family right there. I remember when Uncle Manny went to me, Nazim in the Metro Centre. Sorry, Uncle Manny went to me. You, so he went to me, Nazim, I'm in the Metro Centre and wanted to come, I think he's trying to say, and he said no. Yeah, that's my Uncle Manny. That's my uncle there, Manny Burgo, performer, top amateur and professional. The person who basically got me into boxing because my granda and my uncle both boxed. So naturally, when you're growing up, knowing that, my Uncle Manny was like my hero. So yeah, he got me into boxing subconsciously. I was always watching him. Yeah, he's been massive in my boxing career from the beginning. I wouldn't be in the position I have in the things that I've achieved in boxing without my Uncle Manny. The best heavyweight, in my opinion, a man called Jack Johnson. He was a gentleman, absolutely, of that era. You know, when you're talking about Jack Johnson all those years ago, back in the day, there was no strength conditioning. You know, there was no YouTube to go and study fighters. So it was a case of the work you put in the gym with whoever you had, you know, the ability to train with in your coach. Very limited tools. So, you know, fighters then who are very good, it's a real credit because, you know, now anybody can learn boxing. There's gyms everywhere. You know, the opportunities are available. Well, there's more opportunities. Still difficult in the professional game, but it's definitely a lot easier nowadays than it was back then. Jerry Cooney was the Tarzan boy, Darren Ward. Thank you very much. It was Jerry Cooney. Where George Foreman done the drive-by left uppercut. Thank you, because that would have been annoying me. I couldn't think of his name. Jerry Cooney, great fighter. Jerry Cooney as well had a great left hook. I think he was actually a left-handed orthodox fighter, so his lead hand was actually his strongest. Max Fawcett, the Netflix film on George Foreman is class. I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out. Or just in the ring now, Jack Catterall versus, is this being set up, this fight? Versus Harlem Eubank. Yeah, I think, I don't know if this fight is just getting built or if it's actually being signed. This will be an interesting fight. Jack Catterall, also trained by Jamie Moore, Dave Allen's coach. Very good fighter. Very good fighter. He beat Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, from Scotland. One of the unified champions from Great Britain. Unbelievable fighter, by the way. He beat Josh Taylor. Jack Catterall, unbelievable fighter. Harlem Eubank's good. Not the most powerful. Hasn't got the biggest of punch. I think it's a fight I would expect Jack Catterall to win. But Harlem's definitely improved. Very slippery. That'll be an interesting fight. Very interesting. Charlie Pomfrey. Recognize my name? Charlie Pomfrey. Is this the guy who I boxed? Is it... Pomfrey rings a bell. I can't remember his first name. I think it's Charlie. Reply in the comments, Charlie, if it's you who I fought, mate. Back in the amateurs. I can't remember what year it was. I'm going to guess. It was round 2011, 12 maybe. I don't know. I might have got them dates wrong. I'm not the best with dates. I boxed many guys back in the day, and I'll be honest, I'm not the best with names. Early in my boxing career, I didn't used to pay attention to my opponents at all. My coach who was my uncle, I used to say, I don't want to know what his name is. I'm not interested. Well, sorry, should I say I'm not interested too much on his name. I want to know a rough guide of how he fights. That's it. I didn't like to know too much detail because I used to like to focus on myself. And the minute I fought the opponent, it would just in one ear and out the other. I used to forget about it. I was so tunnel visioned in my next opponent, and like I say, I didn't focus on what they'd done. I was always focused on my own training. Let's have a look. Corey Cottenham, who wins KSI versus Till? I'd probably say Till right now. He's naturally bigger. I think he's got better boxing skills. But KSI has got power because his trainer Vidal Riley, the current cruiserweight British champion, he used to train him and said he's got power. Lee, Froch is desperate for Jake Paul fight. Nah, he talks the talk and, Carl Froch jokes on, but he's not really interested in fighting him. I can't see him coming out of retirement. We're getting very close, guys. Charlie Pomfrey's just said, haha, nah, it was my brother, Sam. That was it. Sam Pomfrey. Yeah, that's right, mate. He won the ABAs in 2011, 2012. Good memories. Yeah. Sam Pomfrey, great fighter. I beat him. I boxed him, I think, in Aldershot. I'm going to guess. I'm sure it was for England. And it was in Aldershot. My memory's terrible with locations and dates of when I fought. But Sam Pomfrey, good fighter. Yeah, it was a good fighter, Sam. I beat him, but at that level, at ABA level, I think I might have been on GB at the time, so I was a little bit... Well, I was the number one guy at the time, but Sam Pomfrey was a great fighter. Yeah, respect, Charlie. Do you box yourself, Charlie? Sam Lanford, probably the greatest fighter ever. Another great fighter. Okay, we're getting very close. I had all sorts of topics to talk about, but I love engaging with the comments and answering your questions. So yeah. Quinn Butters, I typed it wrong. Manny told me it was going to see Nazim in the Metro Centre. I think it was an exhibition thing. When I asked to come, he said no. Clearly missed. So up the train, Lennox Lewis would beat Usyk and Tyson Fury, in my opinion. Absolutely. Lennox Lewis, of that era, he'd beat everybody right now. He fought in my opinion, a much better era. Much better era, in my opinion. Okay, we're getting close, guys. Lewis Taylor, are you, KG, Joey, and Geordie doing a live boxing watch-alongs again? Somebody asked earlier, yeah, hopefully very soon. Stick with me, guys. I'm just gonna nip to the toilet for 1 second. This is the thing when you're a one-man band. You've got to do these things. I've got to dive away. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm back. How unprofessional, going to the toilet. How dare me. The things you got to do, Come on, guys, get your predictions in. Who wins? Points, stoppage. Give me your rounds. Guy, what's Jack Capwell doing setting up a fight with Harlem Eubank? Did you know what it is? He needs to be active, and if that opportunity has been presented, he'd be confident he can win. Harlem Eubanks, working his way through the ranks, starting to get a little bit more of a reputation, starting to create a bit of a fan base. So, and he's got the Eubanks name. So, Why not? Movies. Hi, Lawrence. It's me, James, from primary school. Remember that time you sh- shat yourself in class? Who the fuck's this? Somebody talking there must have a spammer. I can put it out there. I have never shat myself. Even as a baby, I never wore nappies. Yeah, guys, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And anybody who would like to donate to the channel, it would be much appreciated. All the money made with this channel goes straight back into it. Invested straight back into the channel so I can continue to grow the channel, and it makes worth my while doing these streams if you're enjoying my content. First round stoppage. I just hope both teams have fun. Well, the fighters certainly will, because when you're a fighter, this is what you live for: the big nights, the big opportunities. Because you do all the hard work, and if you don't get to put that hard work into action, it's really soul destroying. Me as a fighter, I've trained dedicated for years, and when I haven't in recent years, when I haven't been getting opportunities, it's soul destroying. I predict a sweet and sour knockouts. Dave Allen on points, up the train. Max Fawcett, round 8, Fisher. Think Fisher will be more tactical and Allen won't be as fit enough. Fisher on points is more tactical and boring fight. Thank you very much, Jack Shannon, for the super chat. Really appreciated, mate. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Lindsay, has Razor went up yet? Not sure what you mean there, sorry. Ketty, Fisher will be strong for the first 4, then Allen will come back and ice him by round 8. Well, that's pretty much how it went in the last fight. Can Johnny Fisher keep Dave Allen off? That is the $1 million question. Absolute, it's easier said than done. You can put in all the hard work, but if he's sparred some of the best guys in the professional ranks, the likes of, AJ, Joe Joyce, Fraser Clark. I'm talking about these earlier on in his career because I was there in GB when he fought those guys. And then the likes of, he was in Alexander Usyk's training camp, Tyson Fury's training camp. That's just to name a few off head. But he's been and mixed it with all the top guys. So he's got a lot of experience and he's got one hell of a chin and he can really punch. So he's a hard man to keep off for 12 rounds if he's fit. Thank you very much. Super chat off Josh Bush. Appreciated, mate. What's your prediction? I'm going for Dave Allen. If anyone watched my prediction video beforehand, I picked Dave Allen. My mind's not changed, and I say a stoppage. I'm going mid to late rounds. If I had to choose a round, I think it's going to be round 8 or 9. Round 8 or 9, because I think this time I do think Johnny Fisher will try to keep it long a lot better, keep it at range. But I just can't see him. It's a big if Dave Allen is a man of his word and is fitter and he's put in the work, I think he'll apply the pressure earlier, and I just don't think he'll beat Johnny Fisher will be able to keep him off. I think when Johnny Fisher gets clipped again, if he gets hurt, all that memory will come straight back and he might panic. Thank you again for another super chat there of Uncle Lenzo. Appreciate it. Big up, respect. See Big John pocket punching a chicken ball. I didn't see that. I haven't seen that. That man can eat. Big John. Bosh. A cheeky chicken ball. Yeah, he's definitely ate a few chicken balls in his time. I love the pair, to be honest. Really entertaining. I love characters in boxing, and Johnny Fisher brings that. Guys saying, I don't think Fisher hurt Dave much in the first. So if Dave has the stamina, the experience over, sorry, if he has the stamina, then it's experience over enthusiasm. Yeah, I agree. You can't buy experience, and I don't know if it's been a long enough time for Johnny to make the necessary improvements. I'm not too sure. I guess we'll find out very, very soon. Alan is injured, mate, 100%. Really? Not too sure about that. Dave looks well out of shape. You know, a lot of guys aren't body beautiful at the heavyweight division. We've seen Tyson Fury. He's certainly not body beautiful, but he can bounce and dance around for 12 rounds. So I don't always go off the way people look at appearance. Some of the best people I've fought in the amateurs haven't always been the most body beautiful. Audio cutting out. Let me just check this. Let me know in the comments if the audio's okay. Um, um, Fisher looks nervy. Video quality, audio's fine. Video quality is choppy. All good for you. It might be your internet at your end. I'm just checking now. You've got me. At my end, as far as I'm aware, the internet connection seems to be fine. Hopefully, it's okay for everybody. I'd be very annoyed if the quality disappeared now, right as the fight's about to start. It's a bit laggy. Unfortunately, sometimes with live streams, I maybe need to improve my internet further. Alan Hull, cut stoppage win for Fisher or decision win. Okay. AP, that is a massive spot. Loza. Thank you very much for noticing that. I've got a second head grown on my face. Unfortunately, I'm not perfect. I take it you must have perfect skin. Not everyone's gifted with perfect complexion. Audio fine, not great, but I don't swing that way, so not bothered, to be fair. Okay, I'm going to start watching it now because I've been answering your questions, but I want to try and give you my analysis as we're going along here. Okay. I mean, when I say Dave Allen here, to me, physically, he looks good. His shoulders and his arms and his face, look well. Yes, around the gut area, there's a little bit of excess weight, but it's heavyweight boxing. It's more down to diet. If you're a bit, your waist is a bit wider, you've got a bit of belly fat, but it doesn't mean that he hasn't put in the work. Because the belly is the last place the fat normally leaves. Yeah. And you can tell that Dave likes his food. If you've seen his YouTube channel, he's sometimes eating a packet of crisps while he's talking. Johnny's trying to keep it long. He's not as confident as he was in the first fight. He was holding center ring a little bit better. Dave's definitely applying the pressure a little bit earlier this time. Hopefully he's still switched on and he's not going to be too confident. There's that overhand right. And Johnny looks to hold straight away. Hopefully Johnny doesn't listen to Dave again if Johnny says clinch. I think Johnny's been away in Fort Ventura. He's took himself away from all the distractions so that he can be fully focused, because he said in the first fight he was too nice, too respectful. Thank you very much, Quinn, for the super chat. Quinn Butters, thank you very much. Appreciated. I think Dave was complaining there of the heads coming together. Again, that's Dave's experience, letting the referee know. Because sometimes when you talk to the referee, it influences the ref and they get involved. Yeah, Dave's really applying the pressure. I haven't really seen too much from Johnny. He's maybe been a little bit more patient this time, because last time he was definitely letting the shots go a little bit more. But the problem is, if he doesn't let his shots go, he needs to dishearten Dave, let a few shots go. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night. He's going to have to give Dave something to think about. Otherwise, he's going to be all over him like a rash. Yeah, I think Johnny Fisher right now, he seems to be more worried about what's coming back than thinking about what he needs to be doing. In the first fight, he was letting his jab go. At the moment, he's just holding his lead hand out, but he's probing with it. He let a combination go there, but he's sitting on the ropes. He needs to move off. He doesn't want to be on the ropes against Dave Allen. Well, that's a Dave Allen round for me. Just on pressure alone. There was not a lot of clean punches landed. Not a lot of clean punches. When there's not a lot of clean punches, it's difficult to score, and sometimes it comes down for the judges a case of what you like. Do you like the guy throwing more punches? Do you like the quality? But there wasn't a lot of quality there. They might pick Dave just for the pressure alone. Yeah, guys saying first round. He's saying the first round at Ashley. TB, isn't Mike Baldwin hilarious? Such an amazing character. Whoa, I can't believe the comedy he's producing. Johnny Dosser. Don't know what you're talking about there, guys. Okay, going into round 2 here. Again, Johnny's probing with a jab, but he's out of range. And he's backing off. I need to see a little bit more confidence. He needs to stamp a little bit more authority. Let his shots go. It's all right boxing on the back foot, but every once in a while you need to let your shots go to give your opponent something to think about. And also to build the points up, because you don't win rounds by not landing punches. Is he thinking, I'll let Dave Allen tire himself out? Well, he's not going to be tired if he's got nothing to think about. He's got to, put some punishment on Dave to slow him down. In the first fight, he was really letting the body shots go, which that's the sort of thing you do if you want to slow someone down. And sometimes with Dave, he carries his hands in the cross guard, and not really defending his body. So sometimes that's a good tactic. But yeah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Johnny. He's not got that confidence, that belief. Come on, Dave. Dave needs to apply the pressure a little bit more. He's walking forward. He just shipped a right hand there. You can't just walk forward. He needs to put his jab out. Let his shots go. There's no point getting there and doing nothing. The whole point of working your way into the inside, walking someone to the ropes, is to let your hands go. To me, right now, Dave's a little bit too comfortable. And sometimes when you get too comfortable, you lose a bit of concentration. And Johnny can definitely bang, so Dave needs to stay switched on. I'm just waiting for that big overhand right from Dave. Especially when Johnny's got that low lead hand. His chin's exposed. If you've got a low lead hand, you need to have that shoulder nice and tight. Block the punches with your shoulder. Johnny's complaining of a right hand at the back of the head. It's boxing. Get on with it. It's up to the referee to intervene. I don't like it when fighters complain to the ref too much. This is the hurt business. It's part of boxing. If someone's doing dirty tactics, do it back. As simple as that. You see there, Johnny went to throw a right hand and hesitated. Oh, nice left hook there by Johnny. He threw a right jab, right hand, and then came back with a left hook. But I don't know if it landed clean, but it was the right idea, because sometimes what happens is Dave is in the shoulder roll position like this, like a bit like a Floyd Mayweather style, but he's wide open around the corner if you haven't got your right hand in this position. So he was like that, and you're wide open for the left hook. Okay. Let me see what the comment section's saying right here. Big D, bloody hell, that Dave Allen's jab was mad. Guy, Dave's got this as he's worried about the first fight knockdown. Yeah, Johnny does look to be a little bit scared and timid. I'm not liking the lack of confidence, but, you know, I say that, but boxing at heavyweight, when you've been hurt like that off Dave Allen, who's very clever, more experienced, and like I say, you've been hurt in the first fight, it's sometimes hard mentally to get over the trauma. That was a nice body shot there from Johnny. He's tried to pile on the pressure, but he got there and kind of just smothered Dave. He didn't really do too much. He went to step on the gas and then changed his mind, hesitated. This is what I'd like to see from Johnny more jabs. Everything comes off the jab. It keeps your opponent off balance, keeps them thinking, and then you find your range as well. Oh, nice uppercut on the inside there, then a left hook from Dave Allen. Lovely shot. Really lifted the head of Johnny there. Yeah, see, every time Johnny uses his jab, he gets success, but he's not doing it. He's not doing it enough. He threw a right hook there, but he was miles out of range. The thing is with Johnny, he's young. He's not that experienced as an amateur or professional yet. And I said as well in my prediction video, this fight, you know, the first fight especially, was too soon. I don't know why they rush fighters these days too much. Johnny wasn't ready for Dave Allen. I think they thought Dave Allen was finished, and he proved that he wasn't. And like I say, the rematch, if it had been me managing him, I would have said, okay, let's go away for 12 months, gain some experience first against lesser opponents, and then come back. Nice shot there from Johnny inside, right uppercut, left hook. That's the shot there, the right uppercut, when Johnny's been thrown it, because Dave sometimes leans his weight over his front foot, and he's susceptible to the uppercut. Oh, them. Oh, whoa. Oh! Well, that's called payback, because last time Dave hit on the brake and Johnny did the right thing. He let his hands go, but the referee's warning him, because a few times I think Johnny's landed low blows. But them punches, if you can get away with them on the brake, because that might have rocked Dave there. Dave's got a good chin, so let's see how he is. That's Dave's being inexperienced there. Learn from what you've done to your opponent last time. You know what I mean? He nearly made the same mistake as Johnny did in the first fight. This is what happens when you're sometimes too comfortable in a fight. You switch off a little bit. I mean, we're only in round 3. But I would like to see... Oh, but low, was that low again from Johnny? Some nice inside work there from Johnny, and another lovely right uppercut. At least Johnny's letting his hands go now on the inside, because before he was looking to hold and not really doing anything. Okay. The Matty Wiz, good to see a pro talking on a fight rather than crappy pundits. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. That's what my job is here on YouTube. You know, I want to give my experience, you know, my experience from 20 years of, you know, amateur and professional boxing. I'm a coach. If anyone is just joined the stream, I'm a personal trainer. I've got a degree in sports coaching. You know, I've got experience in the game, and that's what I want to give my experience. I'm not here on YouTube to say I can do it better. I'm better than these guys. I just want to give my knowledge and experience. I'm not really liking Dave Allen at the minute. I feel like he's getting close, but not really letting his hands go. And this is where Johnny's starting to get a little bit of success, and he's gaining a little bit of confidence. I mean, somebody's giving this fight every round to Johnny Fisher. What a load of rubbish. No chances. Don't know who's been scoring that. You can see Dave Allen just when he gets Johnny in a headlock and then he leans on him, and that zaps the energy when you lean on a guy. That's again his experience, little tricks of the trade. Yeah, Dave's got to be careful of them uppercuts that Johnny's thrown. He's really whipping them in. These are the roughhouse tactics that Dave was doing in the first fight. You know, using his lead hand, pulling him, dragging him, leaning on him. You know, these are all things you learn through years of being around a gym. You gain that experience sparring with top operators. Oh, nice body shot there from Johnny. But Dave, that extra body fat that Dave's carrying will help with those body shots. And a lovely uppercut there from Dave Allen. Johnny looked to hold straight away, so he must have felt it. Dave's just leaning on him, rubbing his head on him, all these dirty tactics. These things offset your opponent. As long as you do it in a clever way, because the dark arts is about doing it slyly. And people might think, oh, it's not very professional. This is boxing, the herd business. It's not all about, you know, perfect, pure boxing. You do what you can get away with. It's as simple as that. If you want to see people following rules, go and do golf. You know what I mean? This is boxing, the fight business. This is blood, guts. People want to see action. And this is what it's about. All the respect when the fight's over, the respect's there. But while the fight's on, you're enemies. You're going to war. Oh, there again, Dave Allen just sits in the pocket leaning over his front foot. And Johnny Fisher throws a combination. And I don't think they landed clean, but Johnny can really punch, so Dave needs to be careful. I feel as if Dave needs to, he needs a good talking to in the corner by his coach, Jamie Moore, because I'm not really liking what I'm saying. Up the train. First time to your channel and you're good at what you do, mate. Enjoying this. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Respect. Quinn Butters, golf. Get the fight on. Yeah. Listen. Yes, I love respect in boxing. But during a fight, there's no respect. It's about you're trying to take your opponent clean out. It's as simple as that. All the niceties are for after the fight. You shake hands. You know, I'm just watching there, the slow motion. There was a nice body shot from Johnny there. I think Dave felt it because it stopped him in his track for a moment. Alan Hull, free Chris Brown. Iron Sheath. Stealth, sorry. 3.3.0. I've been searching for a watch along, and this is the best. Thank you, mate. Listen, 20 years of boxing experience. Make sure you come along. Look out for my streams, because if you're enjoying what I'm doing, I'm going to be doing streams more often. And anyone who's wanting to donate to the channel, feel free. It really helps the channel grow and helps me reinvest the money into the channel. And then I'll do more of these watch-alongs. It's an incentive, you know what I mean? This is my time that I'm putting in, so anyone that wants to donate, it goes a long way. Guys, got Dave 3 rounds up. Dave setting traps. Yeah, I hope so. Dave just shifted another right hand. I feel as if Dave Johnny fit. Oh, overhand right there from Dave. I do feel as if Johnny's getting a little bit more success though. I think this round is starting to heat up right. Starting to really warm up. Both guys are really starting to... Oh, Dave just threw overhand right. He nearly hit the lights in the arena there. If that had landed clean, that would have put a cow to sleep. That's the thing with Johnny Dave Allen. He throws unorthodox shots, these big overhand shots, like he's throwing a cricket ball. But the catch here, because you block like this, and it finds a way over the top and around the corner. Dave Allen just threw a low blow because he's complaining to the ref that Johnny's throwing low punches. So Dave done the right thing. He thought, okay then, you're going to throw low shots. Bang, I'll throw a low shot myself. That's what you've got to do. Don't complain. Do exactly the same. Big D, bang. Just sent a super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Thank you. Respect, mate. Thank you to everyone who's watching. I appreciate you coming in. Oh! Overhand right there from Dave. Johnny definitely felt that. He had to shake his head there. He definitely felt that. He done very well to take that. That was the sort of shot that dropped Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois. Wow. Johnny done very well. Johnny's definitely got a chin. Oh! Dave's unloading there. Round 5 is definitely warmed up. Oh, he caught him with a left hook. Oh, an overhand right. He's hurt. He's down. There you go. I knew he was hurt of that overhand right. He was a few punches away. Wow. I think he's more hurt there than he was in the first fight. Let's see if he can recover. Wow. Dave needs to be sensible here. But he... Oh! Beautiful. He's going... Oh! He's gone. Respect to Dave Allen. He's not celebrating because he caught him clean with a left hook and he is gone. In the towel, his corner knew straight away because they threw the towel away instantly. Wow. I said this was too early for Johnny Fisher. I said he should have swerved the rematch. I said this. This is my experience in boxing. It's not me saying I know everything. But Johnny Fisher, he didn't have much of an amateur career. You know, as a professional, is inexperienced. Dave is very experienced. He's been around the gym for years. He's been in there with the best guys. It was far too early. Honestly, I think Johnny Fisher's been pushed too quickly. Wow. Slept. Matty Wiz saying you called it spot on, Lawrence. Thank you, mate. And listen, this isn't about being a know-it-all, because I don't. But I give my prediction, my honest opinion. And because I've knew Dave Allen from my GB days, I've watched him spar many rounds up in GB at the Institute of Sport. And he's a very experienced operator. And yes, he's got a lot of losses on his records, but he was pushed too early himself, early in his career. But you know what? This is Dave 2.0. He's took the experience from all of those years. You know, he's found a good trainer. He's putting in the work, disciplined. Bang. Good night. Shit. Wow. That was earlier than I thought. I had it round. I thought round the slightly later rounds, middle to late rounds. I wasn't far away. Shit. That is madness. Wow. Do you know what it is? This fight, I like both guys. This for me, I was slightly more team Dave Allen because I know him personally. That's why he's been on my channel before. But the back end, I think the back end of last year. So like I say, I know Dave Allen, but Johnny Fisher, he's a really genuine guy. He comes across really respectful. I love the camaraderie that he has with his dad, Bosch. That you can see that he's a well brought up guy, very respectful. He's not brash. He's not a trash talker. He's a really respectful guy. So part of me not wanting to fight Dave Allen and think it was too soon is because, unfortunately, I was scared that this could happen. In this sort of, defeat, he's been badly hurt in the first fight. And then this fight, being, heavily knocked out by a big left hook, out cold. Well, pretty much out cold. This can be damaging to a young man's career. You don't need this early in your career. This can end a fighter's career. I'm just watching the replay here. Left hook to the body, right uppercut. Right hook round the corner. This was, I think, after he'd already been hurt. I'm just looking for the shot that... Oh, it started with the left uppercut. What wobbled him. Then a right hook, then a left uppercut. Boom. Then he hits the deck and he's badly hurt. Because there was multiple shots before he went down. There was at least 5 or 6 punches that landed on the button that done the damage before he went down. Big shots. Because Dave can really punch. And then he got back up. I'm just waiting for the replay here at my end of the finishing shot. And some of them shots were high in the head, which really scramble your senses. And then there was that was like round the back of the ear, the left hook. And then there was a right hook to the body, which brought his hands down. And then, left hook, bang on the button. Them ones put you to sleep. And then there was I didn't see that one. There was a right hook for good measure on the way down. That is a devastating stoppage. Yeah, he is gone. Wow. I seen that they give him oxygen. That's more of a precautionary measure, just to make sure. Oh, that left hook, I'm just watching it again. Oh, and there was another right hook what almost hit him on the throat. Wow. Oh my days, what a statement for Dave Allen. I'm over the moon for Dave Allen, by the way. I'm absolutely over the... Someone say, Tyreek, your coverage is awesome. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Guys, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you just joined me. If you joined me at the start of the fight. Jay Bags, love the real honesty on the fighting, Lawrence. Boxing is an art, but fighting is brutal. Respect to you and all fighters. Great commentary, and you were bang on with your support of Dave. Class, pal. Thank you. Cheers, mate. Really appreciate it. Fisher thrown loads of low punches. He certainly was. Russell saying that. Far too many low punches for my liking in that fight. But Dave decided I'll return the favour, and he threw a body shot. A low shot. That's what you've got to do. Alan Hull, thanks for the commentary. No problem, mate. J Bags, won't be a trilogy after that. I don't think so. I think it'll be a while before we see Johnny Fisher back in the ring, because that was devastating. Edwin, that last left hook would have stopped anybody, absolutely, because it was clean on the button. Sam Jones, what a KO. Fair play to Dave. Who won? Jay Sharp. Dave Allen, mate. Guy. Dave was setting him up. Absolutely. Experience. Some tasty punches there by Russell. Tarzan boy Darren Ward. I said that this afternoon. Every time Dave Allen comes in around that weight, today or heavier, he always wins. But I seen your comment, mate, on my video. I seen that. Tarzan boy Darren Ward. I seen your comment. I didn't realise that. Thank you for that information. But that was very good information and knowledge. You know your boxing, mate. British title for Dave next. Eggy Hearns better get it sorted. You can see Dave Allen's respecting his mate there. In the corner, his teammate. Another, I can't think of his name now, my brain's gone dead, but he's managed to get Dave on his shoulders, and that is good going because Dave's a big guy. I think Dave's not sure himself. He's like, put me down. You can't lift a baby elephant. But yeah, he's a top prospect. Former GB guy, I can't think of his name now, but he's boxing at the cruiserweight. They seem to be best mates at the gym, like a baby brother, Dave Allen says. The baby brother I never wanted. Rabbiting on should have been stopped after the first knockdown. Potentially, because he was badly hurt. I said when it happened, he was badly hurt, and more hurt than the knockdown in the first fight. And it's up to his corner to spot the signs to maybe throw the towel in because they know the fighters. But also, it's a big fight, a big opportunity. You've got to give your guy a chance. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm just going to see if I can quickly listen to what Dave Allen's saying here. One moment, guys. Just going to see if I can. I just want to hear what he's saying. Let me just check. I just want to see what Dave's saying because I'm really wanting to see Dave moving forward. I'm just going to... You can see that Dave Allen's really emotional here. He's saying, you know, he's been written off so many times. This means everything to him. Absolutely. Dave's had a tough career. He's been pushed very early in his career. He's had some really tough fights. And he's a real tough guy. Dave Allen's saying not to box him, take the rematch. And I remember after the fight, Dave Allen said that. That's how such a nice guy that Dave Allen is. He was advising his opponent, you know, don't take the fight. Despite the big payday that Dave Allen was going to get, he gave him the advice, don't fight him. Alison and Guy, Wildlife, great commentary. Thank you. Much appreciated. London Premier walk-in tours. How far can Dave Allen go? Well, that's the question. If he can, now that he's disciplined and he's got a great coach in Jamie Moore, if he puts in the work, he's definitely British level, no problem. European level. Let's just see how he progresses because he's had a lot of hard fights in his career. But going off this fight, he's got plenty left in the tank. I would still like to see a higher work rate because as the levels go up, he'll need it. Oh, lovely words from Dave Allen. If my son's half the man Johnny Fisher is, he'd be very proud. Great respect. See, that's the real respect in boxing. When the fight's said and done, you have that respect. It's one apiece now. They're saying there's no trilogy. Let me just say there's no trilogy. Johnny Fisher's, team would be an absolute joke if they were to have a trilogy. Not after that. He was lucky. I did say, if you watch my prediction video, I said, the first fight, Johnny won the lottery, but nobody wins the lottery twice. Simple as that. Lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. Terrible Reffin Lodge says, I'm just looking at the comment again. London Premier walk-in tours. 15 to 20. Maybe he is the top 15 or 20 out. Do you know what it is? Dave's got the toughness. He's got the power. He's got the experience. I just need to really see him continue to improve as an athlete. And, maybe he can make some... Maybe he can get some belts, in this game. I really think he can. Owen Foster, if only Alan took his career seriously at the beginning. hindsight is a wonderful thing. And, you know, Dave Allen, he says it openly. He was a bit crazy when he was young, and he used to just turn up to training turn up for sparring without training. I've seen him personally down in Sheffield at GB, turn up to spar AJ, who was an elite athlete, as we all know, half eating a sandwich, no warm up, and jump straight in for sparring. The guy was crazy, and he would still hold his own. Eddie Hearn saying he would like to see him, Dave, headline Sheffield. I really hope this time round that Dave is well looked after and well managed and promoted. I hope Eddie Hearn gets a hold of him and gets him some good opportunities. He deserves it. Quinn Butters, Lawrence, another good stream. You're doing great. Thank you, mate. Appreciated. My sister saying there, Hannah Roswecki, great stream, brother. Love my sister. I'm lucky to have a great family. 2 great sisters. My biggest supporters. London Premier walk into us. I agree, Lawrence. Maybe if he trains all year round and doesn't chill and lose fitness between fights, he could really make he could make massive improvements. Absolutely. If he wants to go somewhere, he needs to live like an athlete. You know, I seen a thing earlier on, I think it was on Instagram, talking about fighters having camps. There shouldn't be camps. You should be training all year round. You should be ready at any time, really. If you're a proper athlete, that's the way you should do it. Dave Allen, kids, get to bed. Devin, because he's a devastated knockout waiting to happen again if he gets back in there straight away at a decent level. Are you talking about Dave there, Devin? Are you talking about... Because definitely for Johnny Fisher. Rabbiting on, Dave Allen never reached his full potential, unfortunately, never lived the life. Do you know what it is? Dave Allen, he's made some good money. Despite all of that, I've heard him talk about he's managed to buy some property. Despite losing some fights, I think he got well paid in some of his fights. And even in the last 2 fights alone against Johnny Fisher, he's made some real money. So he's probably set up for life already. So he's had a good career considering. I mean... As he said when I had him on my channel, he said when he started boxing, he looked up to me and then it's funny how things turn around. He's achieved more as a professional than I have. You know, I had a better amateur career, but boxing's about luck sometimes and getting the right opportunities. And you know what it is? Heavyweights, you get well paid, and fair play to Dave. Early in his career, he maybe didn't make the most of it, but you can't look back. You can't look back in boxing. You've got to look forward, and that's exactly what he's doing. And I hope he continues to go from strength to strength, because otherwise there'll be a real shame. But I'm backing Dave Allen all the way. I love him, great guy. And again, I hope Johnny Fisher, I hope he can come back from this, because that is a real devastating knockout, and sometimes fighters never recover. They're never the same again. Adam, I heard Fisher got sent to the Shadow Realm. Certainly did. Proud Englishman, 2-0 Allen. I agree. First fight was a robbery. Fisher couldn't beat him if they fought 30 times. Yeah, definitely not now, because, you know, I think Dave Allen's just got his number, and he's also took his soul. Yeah. I really hope Dave Allen can come back from this, because, like I say, he's a lovely guy. He's only young. This is why it's so important in professional boxing to have the right team and management to get you the right fights. Otherwise, they can basically ruin your career. And I honestly think they've ruined his career. And that's no disrespect to Eddie Hearn, because he's got him some big opportunities and he's probably made some good money. But unfortunately, this might be the end of it. We don't know. Devin, yes, I mean Fisher, because he's too herky-jerky and unnecessary movement, wasted energy. I think that's because he was, you know, he's fought Dave Allen, you know, already and been badly hurt, and sometimes when you fight that person again, if there's not a big enough time to have more fights, gain some experience in the gym and also in fights, it may be a slightly lower level, gain your confidence again. Jumping straight back into deep waters can be detrimental, and it's proven, because I said from round one, Johnny didn't look the same. He was very hesitant, and he didn't have that level of confidence. So, yeah, it's not great. Mind block, you called it 100%. Call me Mr. Mystic Meg. I certainly did. You know what it is? It's just because I know boxing. Because I know that Johnny wasn't experienced enough, despite being game, having a decent chin, having power. Unfortunately, also what happens, when you've got such a big fan base and you sell a lot of tickets, it catapults you, and that's what Eddie Hearn's done. Eddie Hearn's made the most of a big ticket seller and give him a big opportunity, and unfortunately, he's drowned. Just the way it goes. Dave could be the modern day Cinderella, Danny. You're certainly right there, because you know what a story? Dave Allen, the guy that used to turn up for sparring against the likes of Anthony Joshua, eating a sandwich, not warm up, jump in there. Joe Joyce, the juggernaut, you know, in a camp with Alexander Usyk, who's proven to be the best pound-for-pound fighter, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. I mean, he's been in there with the best. Unbelievable. What a turnaround. What a story. I love it. This is what boxing's about. Stories. Love it. Wrapping it on, I'd stick Allen in with AJ. If it's the battle of the chins, Dave wins. Got to agree there when it comes to chin. But, yeah, not just yet. I still back AJ. Dave could be like Joe Parker. Dave could be like Joe Parker. Absolutely. Oh. Yeah, absolutely. Joseph Parker, you know, he had that devastating knockout from Joe Joyce, who's my old roommate, and he managed to turn it around, got a good team around him, and he turned it all around. That's what you've got to do, get the right team around you, which Dave Allen's done, and it's all about boxing's 90% mental. If you can get your mind in the right place, as the saying goes, if your mind can believe, your body can... What's the saying? If your mind can conceive... I can't remember the saying now, but the point being, if you can get your mind to believe what you're trying to achieve, you can achieve it. Believe, achieve is another saying that I can remember. Maybe I've took too many punches to the head. I've forgotten. Let me just still thank you for everyone who's joined the stream. We've still got plenty of people watching. I'll answer a few more questions before I call it a day. Because I appreciate you guys watching, so the least I can do is answer some of your questions. Yeah, I don't think Fisher can come back from this, yeah. Lee's saying Dave needs to chase the British title. Absolutely, he needs to get some belts. Because I don't know how long he's got left, because he's no spring chicken. So, you know, he's definitely got a few years left, so he needs to capitalise on it. You know, he gets some memorabilia for the end of his career, so you can look back on it and say, I won this many belts. But... you know, he's achieved a lot already in boxing, but I definitely believe he's capable of beating a lot of the British level fighters right now. There's nowhere to go for Fisher right now, in my opinion. This is London Premier Walking Tours. Alan got it right. He said Fisher's a great athlete, but an average boxer. Absolutely. And the reason he says average boxer isn't because he hasn't got the potential. It's because he hasn't got the experience. You can't buy experience, because he didn't have the amateur pedigree. And you gain that experience in the amateurs over 3 rounds, tournament style boxing. You know, and even as a professional, you've got to come through slowly, especially if you haven't got that amateur experience. You can't just jump to the big league. You just can't do it. Otherwise, this happens. It's a car crash waiting to happen. In especially not in the heavyweight division. Russell, you should get Big Joe on to do a podcast with him. Are you talking about Joe Joyce or are you talking about... Let me know. Russell, let me know. Love your energy, Lawrence. Fantastic watch, mate. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. I'm passionate about boxing. What can I say? It's been my life for 20 years, so I love it. I live and breathe boxing. I mean, even when I've not been getting opportunities, I still train regardless. Like, I'm fit right now. I could do, I can always, in any day of the week, get in the ring and do 6 to 8 rounds, no problem, sparring. It's fighting. You want to be, if I was to be given an opportunity, give me 4 to 6 weeks, I'd be good to go. And that's me not being active because unfortunately, I can't afford to dedicate my life 100% to boxing like I was a couple of years ago because you don't get paid if you're not fighting. So I can't do it, unfortunately. But yeah, generally for me, I love training, love boxing. So I'm always keeping myself fit. Dave Allen versus Fabio Wardley from George. I think that would be a great fight. Fabio Wardley's always an entertaining fight. And he can really bang as well. We've seen what he done to my mate, Fraser Clark. Caved his face in. Unbelievable. Devin, do you believe in God or any specific religion? No, unfortunately. Well, I'm saying unfortunately, no. I'm not religious at all. No, I don't have any beliefs. I believe in myself. But yeah, to be honest, I think religion is a powerful thing. And sometimes I wish I was religious because I've been around fighters that have got that belief. And it gives them, it's almost like it gives them another level because they believe that God's with them. So sometimes, to be honest, I am envious of people who've got religion. I think it's a powerful tool. Amir Khan could have believed his chin was made of granite, but it wasn't. Yeah, he did get hit. Amir Khan, great fighter. And I think the problem is an amateur, he was unbelievable. He done a lot for GB boxing because when he went to the Olympics, he was the only guy out of Great Britain that went to the Olympics. And I think he was only 17. Unbelievable achievement. And he got a silver medal. So when he won the Olympics, that brought funding for GB boxing. So without Amir Khan, GB boxing wouldn't be what it is now. So give him credit. And I think he was so quick with his hands and feet. It's different over 3 rounds with head guards and, big gloves. But in the pro rank, if you're relying on speed, sometimes you get guys where timing beats speed. So he never really learned how to, keep his chin nice and tight, inside fighting. Yeah, unfortunately, Amir Khan got hit clean. He got some serious knockouts, but he still achieved a lot in boxing. World champion, I remember when he fought for his world title. I was actually in Ayia Napa when I was young with my mates watching it in a bar. And when he won his world title, we had memory that just popped into my brain there. Owen Foster, hand up, I was wrong. Extremely shocked. It's boxing, anything can happen. And it was, despite I personally think Dave won, Johnny did show some success. He had success in the fight. He had his moments, but... yeah, unfortunately, the experience got the better of him. Edwin, I expected a better jab from Fisher. I did as well. He needed to use his jab. Unfortunately, you can't just probe with a jab when you got someone like Dave Allen in front of you. He'll walk you down and punish you, and that's what happened. Because he wasn't giving Dave anything to really respect. You've got to gain your opponent's respect. Otherwise, they'll just keep coming forward. Tarzan Boydoran. If Dave won the British title and the Lonsdale belt, it would take a good man to get them off him. He'd be like a Jack Russell with a bone. My first dog was a Jack Russell. I love Jack Russells. I had 2 of them. I've currently got a dog now. I've got a Staffy, but I like terriers. Yeah, Jack Russell's, the tough little dogs, hardy little dogs. Harry1561, love the show. Watching from Australia. Respect. Respect, mate. All the way from Australia. It blows my mind that someone all the way from Australia is watching my show here in the UK. Love it. Danny, exactly right, Lawrence. How many amateur fights did Usyk have? That experience is key. Absolutely. Because I don't know how many fights he had exactly, but he had 200-300 fights. And these were like 200-300 at elite level. Not just, in his area, all over the world, fighting the best. You can't buy that type of experience. And like you say, it's proven in the professional ranks. Lee, thanks for the great stream. Keep up the great work on your channel. Well, anyone on who would like to donate to the channel would be much appreciated, because all the donations go straight back into the channel. If people like what I'm doing here, please show your support. Sorry about that. Because, if people are enjoying what I'm doing, I'll continue to do these streams. I put a lot of effort into my YouTube channel, growing the channel, and there's a lot of hours going. I've really dedicated the time. I've used the discipline that I've learned from boxing, and I put it into YouTube. One thing about boxing, and any young guys watching, the discipline you learn from boxing, like, stick with it, because there's so many valuable experiences that you gain from boxing. If you can be disciplined in boxing, get inside of a boxing ring, the things that you have to overcome, you can achieve anything. I really believe that. Cherry Bomber, is Dave throwing this away? Johnny winning? Wait there a second. I'm not too sure. I don't know if you're behind, mate. Can your mate Chevron Clark come back? Absolutely. He's still early in his career. I don't know who his trainer is, but his last few fights I haven't been impressed. I think he needs to maybe change team, because he's not improving. Maybe he needs to freshen things up. Find a coach that can, teach him some more tricks, because you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. Ruth Judge, that was a textbook finish from Alan. Absolutely, it was beautiful. I mean, he had his man hurt and he calmly just executed him. It was beautiful. And that type of knockout, the accuracy in his punches, credit to him, because he caught him with every shot bang on the button, round the top of the head, the chin. He couldn't miss. Big D, banger, buzzing for Dave Allen. What a brilliant, down-to-earth guy. Nice human being, absolutely. Devin, how well can Opetaya do if he moves up to heavyweight? I'm not too sure, because we're seeing that Alexander Usyk can do that, but he's quite a big cruiserweight. I don't know if Opetaya has got the physicality for the big guys, but if he would need to spend a bit of time, at the lower level at heavyweight, spend a year, at least a year and a half, to gradually build his body for the physicality. But yeah, it's possible. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it a day there. Thank you very much for everyone who tuned in. Much appreciated. Stay tuned, because I will be doing more streams. And make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again.